strong one, come on, support the boys. The victory for Gambia, our beloved country. Strong one, come on, support the boys. The trophy for Gambia, new page in history, forward forever, backward never. Please love and please all that we promote. Football time again, lose the game. Come out in your numbers and support the boys. They can play the game, they love the game. All they need is your support. Please the Gambia, on the 17, but the salad them call them up 17 because of their skill, style, talent, is overwhelming, versatile. By the power of the creator, this trophy is for the Gambia, our beloved country. By the power of the creator, this victory is for the Gambia, our beloved country. Assalamu alaikum, young lady, to you. Under 17, me and her tonight. Summa sayon, bali dumma sadim. Oh, my boys, a victory tonight. Market low, get the lens, support the nation, get the lens, support the territory, get the lens, support the Gambia. Singing for the Gambia, we are now my new mafia. Check and Bella, full of fire, come on, Kula, say red, dumbly, when the Bella, get the lens, support the nation, get the lens, support the territory, get the lens, support the Gambia. Don't want to know what I need, boy. Then what to know if you let us them what the boy. Then Islam is back to the Islam is back again. Why I never on the 17 and I'm not letting far. Wearing another island, the Jolo, my boy. Holiday down, moving on to the room, the Java to fake boy. And again, feel like Gambia, get it, let's just be the boy second. The canal chap will come the Java, come now. This is just power, yo. I mean, never yo. On the 70 of the game, low. Assalamu alaikum, young lady, to you. Under 17, be and tonight. Summa sanyon, bali dumma sadim. Oh, my boys, a victory tonight. Oh, my boys, a victory tonight.
You're in mute.
Yeah, I was just saying what an AFCON we're having at the moment. We've seen it all, the good, the bad, and the evil. We've seen lack of intensity in some games. We've seen the incompetent refereeing from that Zambian referee. But all these things, and some have stadiums, but that's, to be honest, that's anonymous to African football. But where do we start? Actually, I just want to know your views on the referee. This we can't discuss. We can't have this program without discussing that issue. What's your thoughts on that referee? We've had unconfirmed reports that it was actually the heat that was the cause of it. I don't know how true that is, but apparently after the game he has to go to the hospital. But I don't want to buy into that. That idea. I think whether CAF are trying to back him or to defend him, but I don't know. But finishing a game at 85 minutes and then at 89 minutes, that has never been seen in football. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation, and I'm happy to be back here. Discussion our Gambian football in particular. Basically, the Zambian referee, I used to hold high regards for him, because he is one of the brightest referees we have. And looking at him with his track record in African football, this is not the first time he's been into the spotlight. And I think that says it all. But this one is like it's definitely beyond imagine. I can't even imagine this one. But I think he was having a bad day. That was a bad day for him. That's Calf saying he's been taken to the hospital and stuff. I think that's just trying to put a damage control on the mess he's already done. You know, there is no excuse at this level of football. There is nothing like these schoolboys errors and stuff. And this is something that I'm sure the organizing committee and the CAF referee committee will look into. And hopefully we should see better referees, going through to the second round. And I think, it's not, I think this is the fact. Referees are also selected who are going to stay and who are going home. And I believe he will be one of the referees who will be sent home early in this tournament.
Yeah, no, and that's right. True. To be honest, the utter incompetence is just beyond incomprehensible. I just couldn't understand what was going on throughout the tournament. But having said that, to be honest, we've had a lot of comments coming, especially from England here and all over the world, about the lack of organization in African football. And we have to take some of it, but at the end of the day, English referees are not the one to tell us what I think they are one of the worst, if not the worst, to be honest. You know what I mean? But what is more important is the tournament is still considered success. But there is some bizarre sort of sequence that has been happening, and that I don't understand why it is, but these 1-0 wins throughout the tournament. It seems as the 1-0 tournament, apart from the home side scoring more, almost all other games are ending in either 1-0 or draw. Do you put that down to good defending or bad finishing?
Well, it's in both. I tend to disagree with a lot of people if like a game is tight, especially at this level of competition. That shows that there is good competition between teams. Nobody wants to give it away. It's up to the teams that are like the favorites that have been given by the bookmakers that they will be going through. To step up and take some risk. But overall, it's mixed. Like for example, Gambia's case. I cannot call that good defending with our opponents. We have 3 good chances that should have ended up, the game should have ended up 4-1 or 4-0. And I think we didn't take it. So it is all down to players being composed at the finishing tag. And I think it's a both of bad finishing and good defending. But I think defensively, teams have been very solid, trying to be safe, play safe, which is key, in winning games. If you can defend as a team, you will definitely, once you concede a goal, you will lose the game. So, I'm seeing teams working on the defense. Can we take risks? Can teams start taking risks in scoring goals? Yes, I think, at some point they will have to take a risk.
Baba, welcome.
Yeah, boy,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were just we just started about the referee. I think you must have seen it, the Zambian referee. What's your take on that? Why do you think he would have finished the game 85 minutes and 89 minutes and having a match commission and all that? Why do you think that was happening?
To be honest, anyway, Assalamu alaikum, viewers. The thing is, covering, when I saw it, I was surprised. And then, everyone was talking about it. And, it was sad because this is a big tournament. A big referee like him, and like you said, he had this match commissioner, he got people behind him, CAF official even, they're the one that, asked the referees to start the game exactly the exactly time that they need to start the game. You're controlled by them, if you know what I mean. The CAF officials, they will control. They will say you when it's time to kick off. You know what I mean? But to be honest, I don't even know why he has to, over the game at like 85 minutes, 5 minutes to go plus injury time or extra time, no injury time, so it was a big disaster for African football. I don't know why he's done it. But at the first place, it was wrong. It was totally wrong. Yeah.
So, Coach, let's go back to our own testing. So, what is your overall assessment with the game against Mauritania? How did you see it?
Well, first of all, I would say congratulations to the team, to the coach, because with his backroom staff, the team, the whole thing, and the Gambian nation, and it was, like I said, I always said, anywhere I talk, I said it's the most difficult game we had in the championship, but there is a reason behind it. To me, any team that is next on the agenda, it's always the difficult game to me. So in saying so, I was like, I knew Mauritania. We are almost at the same standard. They are above us a little bit in the past few years because of the consistency they have in the way they qualify to the AFCON. This is their second time, and we as a nation, this is our first time. But I'm really satisfied with the how we started our AFCON our AFCON tournament. We had a win, a very important win. We had a goal. We scored a goal at a time when we needed to change the dynamics of the game, which we did. The build up to that ball, to that goal was exceptional. Musa Barrow showed class. He showed why people like me are advocating for the team to be built around him. And look at the IQ he has, how tight the angle was to give the ball to Germano. And Germano's first touch was brilliant and a well-taken goal. We knew he is a player that can score those type of goals if he has an opportunity. So what that tells us is we need to have the right players at the right time to execute what we got to execute. We have some couple of moments, that we could change the whole dynamics of the game, but we make the game more difficult for us and play it tight to the end of the game. But I think we should have made that those three opportunities, 1 or 2 count, that would have eased the pressure on the team. But overall, we can't ask for a better results playing against your first game in the AFCON. If we have to win 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 to the end of the tournament, I will be satisfied with it, and I'm sure the coach will be satisfied with the results. I'm not quite sure if he will be satisfied with the performance. I am not quite satisfied with the performance. I think there is a room for improvement, which, during the course of the tournament, I believe as a coach is going to improve on certain areas. We have where we can work on our strength. We can improve on our strength, but we also have deficiencies, weaknesses that we have to focus on trying to make them right, because the more we move into the tournament, the more it's getting better and tougher and tougher. So at some point, we will have to be a complete team to be able to compete with the best teams.
Baba, your overall assessment. Oh, Baba is gone again. But yeah, so the other thing is, should we actually get carried away? Because by the looks of it, I understand we are the newbies. We are just coming into a major tournament. The excitement is above everything. But at the end of the day, what the pattern that we're actually seeing at the moment is we've got the so-called favorites are not performing to their standards, and you see Gabon already, most likely would qualify. And But I come to you, Baba. What's your overall assessment on it? And then I'll go back to coach. The last game,
Um,
Mauritania.
yeah, first of all, congrats to the lads. They've done well. When before the game, I was worried because I don't know what kind of 11 he's gonna come up with and what kind of system he's gonna play. But he proved me wrong. I'm an anti-Tom anyway. I never liked that coach. Sorry to say, but on that day he have surprised me. So I thought he's gonna come with 6 or 7 midfield players, like to come and block like a defensive midfield or 5 or 6 defensive midfield players. But the fixtures that he start with, it was a good one. So Mar to be playing Uncle and then Ibu Adams and Germano to be flowing and up front as well. We have players that can keep the ball and then it was all right. It was a good game. Like Yafa was saying, we could have three clear chances that we could have taken and it would have helped and it would change the how to call it a game as well. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. One goal, 3 points, and 3 points is a win, so it's important as well. So, but the thing is, we have a good game, yes, but still, at the end of the day, we have to improve more because second half, I think 65 minutes. That's it. That's all we played. The rest, we were dead. We have dead legs. We were tired. We couldn't push up. And then, if you have a goal and you're defending a goal and you're going to play counters, you should have a player that is fast or that can keep the ball and then let the defense to push up, give them time to come, to push, to come. But that wasn't happening, number one. Is we don't have players that will keep the ball. We lose the ball. If you're defending your goal and then going through a counter attack, you got a player that will keep the ball up front. Give time the defenders to move, to push up and come. And then they can play. But that wasn't happening because, how to call it again, Torres was tired at the end of the day. He was out and Dembo Dabo came. He did well as well. The overall, the players that are expected, how to call it, Suleiman Mar, I thought he wasn't going to be performing good, but he surprised me because he wasn't having game time at his team. But at the end of the day, that game, he was man of the match for me. If you have to give man of the match, I will give it to Sotma. But at the end of the day, if you check on how to call Germano, you give it to Germano, and then that kid, that how to call it, the stopper, something Gomez lad, he is very, very good. And then you have this the halfback right as well, the wing back, this guy, Ibuture. He also did well. So all of these lads, they did well. But like I said, still we need to improve. If we play how we played against Mauritania, and then we go the same way or we approach Mali the same way, we're gonna have issues. We're gonna have problems because for us still we can't keep the ball for so long. That's another problem for us. 1, 2, 3 touches, we lose it. 1, 2, 3, 4 passes, we lose it. 1, 2, you know what I mean? We need to improve on that as well because, this is a high level of football. You can't just lose balls like that. You can't just lose balls like that. You know what I mean? If you do that with Mali or any big game, they'll punish you. Mauritania, like during the second half, they were there in the middle of the pitch. They were standing there and they were on us. If you leave a team to keep the ball for so long, you'll be running behind the ball. You'll be just running, chasing the ball. And then at the end of the day, when you win the ball, you already got dead legs. So all you do is you give up the ball, mal passes, or you can't kick accurate. Because you've been running for like 5-6 minutes going after the ball. You can't get the ball. You understand? So African Cup of Nations is a tournament. It's not like home and away or whatsoever. Get it out. Play what you can. Like for us, we're here for the first time. Whatever we got, we go home with that. It's not a pressure. It's not like a big deal that we need to get to quarterfinals or finals or whatsoever. Yeah, we go with the rhythm. If we get there, yes, we get there. But at the end of the day, you just have to play a proper football. And then when he made the changes as well, he could have bring Steve, instead of Beck, bring Steve to keep the ball. You need players that would keep the ball, because at the end of the day, these lads, they were all having dead legs. They were all having dead legs. The second half, Mauritania was on us. The ball position, go and check, it was 65, 30 something. Mauritania, they gained, and that's normal as well, because obviously they were losing 1-0, so they have to fight to for life. But if we have to play like we did with Mauritania or with any other team, we leave the teams to keep the ball for so long, we will get tired. And then if we get tired at the end of the day, if we got the ball, we can't do anything with the ball because we already have dead legs. So we can't run, we can't do anything. So that's what happened that day. If we have the ball, the counter, we lose it easily. There was one counter that Musa Baro gave to his Dabo, and the goalkeeper came. But if he wasn't having dead legs, he would have given a perfect pass to that man. These kids, they're professionals. They need to play as professionals. You can't just do too much of mal passes, too much of control, and you losing it. No, man. That state is past. That's for the Northern players or zonal players. That you'll be losing balls, or you controlling balls, you can't do anything, or you just keep the ball and pass it to the opponent and all of that stuff. No, man. It's a bit of a So they have to start doing that. This is African Cup of Nations. You can't lose chances. You can't lose balls. You can't. You can't. You got to keep your ball. Keep it. Because at the striking force, we have Hassan and this colleague. Yeah. But they still can't keep the ball for the last to come up. So hopefully don't know that it stop us. So if we do that against Mali, Mali is a big team. You can't play with Mali and you start losing balls, or you start doing mal passes, or you sit back and not playing. Boy, the ball falls. And then I think the last day tried, because our preparation was it was bad. It was messed up. You know what I mean? So you can see that at the last minute of the games, like the 65 minutes, that's when we stopped playing. 65, that's all we did, and then that's it. We're done playing. Because the preparation was bad. You can see they all got dead legs. They were all tired. And that's not right. So yeah. I'll leave you over to come in, and then we take it from there. Thanks.
Thank you, Baba. So Coach, I was talking about the so-called favorites been underperforming. Senegal in particular, obviously they've got a lot of COVID cases, and Algeria we've seen drew against Sierra Leone. Ghana, I know they were not the top favorites, but they actually drew, so they've just got a point. But we've seen celebrations from the dressing room. I know, when you win a football match, especially your first AFCON, and I don't want to put a downer on this. I'm not saying we shouldn't celebrate, but the celebrations coming out, it seems to be, a lot bigger than what we, as we said, we just not there to make up numbers. We are there to compete, and rightly so. And the lesser teams are showing that you can actually compete at this level, Do you think the celebrations were over the top, or is it just normal for us being the first time in a major tournament?
Yeah, actually, I think I'm okay. I'm very, very much okay with the celebration, because every Gambian would be happy with the fact that we won our first game in the AFCON, knowing that we've waited for nearly 60 years to be in the AFCON. And the lads, remember, most of those lads have been watching our national team fail year in, year out. In Banjul, when there is an empty stadium, nobody wants to watch the national team play. Especially the likes of Musa Baro, the likes of Badamosi. I'm just talking about the younger generation, the E-boys, the Steves. Probably they've seen the national team in the past 10 years failing year in, year out. And the sadness, the loneliness in the stadium. It's just it's just a bad feeling. Seeing those players coming through the ranks, qualify, dream to play in the AFCON and represent their country, which they did in style, finishing on top of their group, and going to this AFCON with all the uncertainty surrounding the team, from the moment we qualified up to our first game, everything has been negative. Players not being called up to national duties, being trashed by by under 23 teams, failing camps that the last one is playing against Algeria was called off because of not enough players. All the uncertainties, they went into the tournament not having the best of the preparations that a team requires. Going through all those things, winning your first game against all odds, they have all rights to celebrate. And I wasn't surprised that those pictures and videos were coming out of the dressing room. But that being said, we shouldn't be carried away. We shouldn't be carried away. It was a game we played. It was a historic game. We played it. We achieved our game plan. We achieved what we want to do in the game. We won. That's it. I'm sure the real work starts the next day for the Mali game, because Mali is going to be a more difficult opponent to play with. And I think now that they've got the feeling of playing in the AFCON for the very first time and winning it at your very first attempt, winning a game at your very first attempt, they have felt it now. And I believe that's going to be very motivational to all of them, that they want to move forward, winning more games, because they want to have the same joy continue over and over and over. So basically, it's I wasn't expecting much from this team in terms of going very, very far in the AFCON. I have said it. I think I'll be very, very satisfied if the team goes through to the last 16. Whatever we get after the last 16 will be a bonus, but that's where I'm going to set my target. And then I still stand by setting the target that I think the team will be a huge success for the team to go through the second round.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think 3 points can actually get you to the second round? By the looks of it, the results are not forthcoming for some teams. It's mostly 1-0 wins. And I don't know what do you think? Do you think a 3 points would get us to the second round, or?
No. Basically, it's not enough. We have 2 more. We have 6 points to play for. So it depends on how we're gonna set up our team to play against Tunisia and against Mali. Knowing that Mali won is gonna be even more difficult game, because both Gambia and Mali would want to book their place in the round of 16 now in the second game and make it easier for the last game. But Tunisia, together with Mauritania, will also be fighting tooth and nail. Will be fighting tooth and nail to make sure that they qualify to the they had maximum point in their game. And like we said, the objective is to go for 3 points. But if we can have 1, I will be satisfied with 1.
Yeah, the coach also has been really bullish after in his post press conference, post-match press conference. He actually said, we don't have to believe that we are going to be African champions. We have to take it from game to game. We have to analyze Mali. I realistically would be very happy if we could take 1 point against Mali, because we are 100% sure of reaching the second round. That is a massive statement. We are 100% sure that we will get to the second round. What is your take on that?
Well, he has his game plan, and I think he has all reason to be optimistic. After winning your first game, you will stand a better chance in qualifying to the second round. He needs 2 points from the 2 games to be in the second round. So, meaning, I want I want to believe that his confidence was based on reasons, was based on what he has, what he believes he has, which we all believe that we have the talent in the team that can cause an upset. It's just a start of a journey for us. We're just going to go there and enjoy the journey. So, I mean, after beating Mauritania, I still believe we can make it to the round of 16. We just have to make sure that we work on our deficiencies, which we had. We have a lot of deficiencies in our previous game against Mauritania. But is there any room for improvements? 100%. There is a room for improvement. And I think that is what he believes in, that he can work on, and he can definitely pull a sock against Mali. It will be an interesting game to watch. Gambia, Mali, African football, these standards, you have some great players in the Malian team, the Haidaras and the one playing in Brighton. They are very, 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 very wonderful players. But it's about 11 men on the pitch. You just have to believe in yourself. And I know these lads, they want to go out there and make themselves happy, they make themselves proud. They are all up for the task. That is one good thing, and you can see they have demonstrated that with Mauritania. I had one commentator saying this Gambian team was, I knew we are the lowest ranked team in the whole tournament. And that puts on a level of the underdogs, which is okay for us to be in the tournament as the underdog. But I had the commentator saying, they are the underdogs, but they have sense of purpose. They are not looking like a team that will just come here and participate. They want to compete, and they are really, really, really purposeful. That phrase says it all. I think the team is very purposeful. All I'm saying is we have to play as a team. We have to keep that spirit. Everything is possible on the pitch. If we can take our chances, goals change dynamics of football games. And that is exactly what happened against Mauritania. We took our chance. We took our second chance. I think Musa Barrow should have made it one if he haven't lost his balance in the first half, in the first 5 minutes. But Jamano did put us in a very good position when he scored that goal. Then from that time on, we looked like a team that wants to go for it. And I think that was very positive. If we can score a couple of goals in every game, that will be very, very, it's going to put us in a very good position.
Yeah. Baba, what's your take on that? I think you've been listening. The win against Mauritania. I know the coach has been, very straightforward, saying he is 100% sure that we will get to the second round. Is that overconfident, or is it okay to think like that?
Yeah, it's okay to think like that because he's a coach. Like the Malian coach is saying, he's underrating also. He's saying every sort of words to us. He's talking since day one about our team. So at least our coach have something to say now. He's having confidence after this first game, so which is good for us and for the whole team. But the thing is, like I was saying before, we have in Mali. Mali is a big team, and like Yafa was saying, we got proper, good, clear chances that we could have taken. You know what I mean? If you're playing against Mali or any big clubs, Tunisia, you can't lose chances. You can't miss all those chances. You have to be clinical, and because they have big players, they have big name players, and those players are playing in the bigger clubs. So if they have all these chances, they will take it. Had it been Jamano didn't score all that goal that he scored, so which means we wouldn't have any goal, if you know what I mean, because we got like 3 chances that we can take at least 2. So if we're playing against this other team, Mali, I think we have to play as professionals, like proper professionals, because you can't, like I said, you can't miss chances. You can't be doing mal passes and mal controls, or losing the ball easily, or not even keeping the ball for 5 touches or 6 touches. You know what I mean? If you do that against Mali, we'll be punished. Trust me. because Mali is not a small team. It's a big team. But at the same time, Yafa was saying something important as well. African Cup of Nations is something else because, like you said, you have teams, you have clubs, countries that are suffering. They're struggling, and they have big name players. But it's different. African Cup of Nations is different. It's hard. It's like a kind of a waraga thingy, with all your proper players, with all your good players. Sometimes you can go there and then, not a walk. It wouldn't work for you. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And look play that when they played this the first game against Mauritania, you can see they've just went there and then sacrifice, and then Jengule boy. They did and play this waraga thing like to Deo. That's what they did. And you're like, Deo for the last 65 minutes, and then Abante Bulu Walter boy. That's it. That's all they can give. So, but Malian coach, he is a good coach as well. He's a good coach, and the team is a good team as well. But Tom coming out saying, they can do it because in Nigeria they got confidence because we've won our first game. So obviously the momentum is high. You know what I mean? So everyone is like, hoping to go into the next game with too much confidence, with so much confidence, and then which is good. It's all right. You know what I mean? We can't just carry too much. Like, we've won Mauritania, and then, we're going to go, and then Mali, Mali is a big team. It's a different approach, and which I think the coach, he knows is a different approach. Mali is not a small country, and the coach is not a small guy. So, yeah, but I hope he wouldn't, the thing with these coaches, sometimes you can't predict him, We will think against Mali, he's going to come with different fixer, and then he will come with another fixer and then try to change everything. But he can't do that, He have to come with a proper fixer, and then, the lads would go and enjoy the game and then play. Like I said, for me personally, I don't really care, If these lads, if they have this Mauritanian game, 3 points only, that's it for them. Abakuli boy, for the first time to experience it. And then it's fine. Yeah, I'm New Gen. You know what I mean? We can't expect too much. But at the same time, we can't go to games easy. You get me? We need to play footy. Like boy, boy. So it's here jingo boy. You know what I mean? Boy. But at the same time, we have to respect our tactics. We have to respect our fixtures and the way we're playing. Like I said, the lads, they need to keep the ball. Gambia and told what kind of problem to keep the ball. This national team to keep the ball and play. Like individually, they play good football, but when it comes to like collectively, the lads, it's hard to keep the ball rolling for five, 6 touches, 7 touches. Pop rek loose tala. Pop rek ya fight. Pop rek loose tala. Pop rek ya fight. It's not gonna help, Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. So we've seen the information obviously we're getting is all the players now are fit and they are all raring to go. They've trained yesterday and they've trained today as well. So which is a good news, and I hope that we don't have any more COVID cases. And that would be to our advantage because we've seen Ibu Toure being played out of position on right back, which against Mauritania, I guess he can manage. But against Mali, probably coming up against Genepro, I don't think that would be a good idea. So it'd be good to probably get Janko or Sonko back in to help in that position. But how do you think should we approach the game against Mali? Because if you look at the way we play, it's pretty basics to understand. I don't want to use the term park the bus football, but we sort of defend deep and then hit teams on counters, which is acceptable at this level because the standard is different. Against if you're playing a bigger opponent, not Mauritania in this case, but in against other teams, it's understandable to defend deep and then hit them on the counter because we've got very fast players. But Mali, how do we approach them? Do we defend deep, which might get us in trouble, or do we go all out attack? And yeah, what should we do? What do you think we should approach the game?
Is it's either ways. We can go out and attack, and we are hot at the back because we are a team who has a lot of space between the defenders and the midfield, and between the midfield as well and the strikers. And that is one area that we need to definitely focus on. And we just have to be ourselves. We just have to be ourselves. And I think that's one thing that we have to do. We have to, excuse me. Yeah. All we have to do is we have to play the right players in their right positions. That's one key thing that we have to work in, because we've seen Ibu Ture. He did extremely well. He gave everything out until when he's done, and he was substituted. I think that is the spirit we needed in the team. But I don't think that Gambia, it's a team that is going to control games with our opponents. Possession-wise, I don't think we are a team that is capable of dominating our opponents in terms of ball possession. So the best approach would be have a very solid midfield players, and have two wide players who are very, very quick. When you have to hit your opponents on the break, you need to have two full backs, wing backs that are so quick and very comfortable on the ball, that have the ability to just take on defenders 1-2 and then try to make a better decision. If we want to play Hassan directly, we will keep having issues, because Hassan is playing alone up front. There is nobody who is so close to Hassan that is going to help Hassan when he go for 50-50 balls. Because all the balls we play up are long balls. For instance, Toldo, in the entire game, I have never seen him start the attack, the build-up from the back. I understand. That is how the team is set up. That is how the coach wants the teams to play. From the goal kicks, he will play the ball straight. So Hassan would get into a 50-50 challenge. Where do we end up? We will end up losing the second balls. And that is where it is going to be very crucial. Picking up those second balls, because if you play it very clever midfield players who are very, very decisive in making forward passes, and you had strikers that are quick, it can hurt any team. It can hurt any team. I've also realized, if you look at the distance between the left back and the left center back, there is always a distance, and that distance has to be close. There is a block, and the block has to make sure that the block is all the time taken care of. If we have the ball, we open up. If you lose the ball, we have to play close to each other. And the two wing backs are going to be very, very instrumental and important in our game against Mali. The reason why Ibu Ture and where we haven't seen them much going forward, that has to be said. But Iboy did extremely well tracking back, okay? But we haven't seen the same tracking back on Musa Barrow. We understand he's the one who is assigned to play next to Hassan. But in this case, we need two wing players that has to be very, very constantly on the defensive if we lost the ball. All right, and they should be the first players to open up quickly if we want to hurt our opponents on the counter attack. I would prefer the coach to play with three midfielders in the game on Sunday. I know a lot of people would say a lot about his defensive. I will agree. I definitely agree, and I think every game has a different approach. With the way this Malian team is set up, I think it's important we set try to work on the spaces we have in our middle. And I think I would definitely be happy if he can consider playing Jaguar You know, I wouldn't mind playing Jaguar, Ibu Adams, and then Solman. You know, in that way, Jaguar is young and energetic. We need someone who's going to fight, you know, who's going to try to win the ball, you know, all the time. Ibu Adams will definitely fight for the team. That's very obvious. He's one of the most disciplined players we had in the team. But we needed also someone to complement his effort. Don't have to let him do all the hard work. You know, Jaguar is good on the ball as well. So he can also give those, I mean, good passes up front. So, like I said, in as much as we want to hit them on the break, we need to also have players that can give that can give the supply to the strikers and the forward players. And anytime we switch to the offensive tag, I would also prefer the defense to step up, the midfield to step up, defense to step up, Toldo to step up, so we can leave a small gap in between each other. If not, the Malians will use the space that will be in between our defense and the midfield. I'm pretty sure of that they will use that as much as they can, trying to exploit our weaknesses. And one thing we also have to be, we also need to consider, we did have a lot of whipping crosses coming up from our Mauritania game. And I think that is one area that we definitely need to work on. James and OJ did extremely well. They deal with all the crosses that came in. I mean, they did a fantastic job. But do we want to continue having that against Mali? I don't think it's a good idea, because Malians, what I saw with them is they had very good midfield players, very comfortable, very energetic, very creative. They will try to play in the midfield and try to open up on one side, and they will use the blank zone, you know, and that means either our wing back or the left back has to, either left back or the right back needs to be more concentrated, more concentrated on the player who is coming from the blank zone. If we do that, try to shut them down on the wings, we try to shut them down in the middle, we will have a chance, because I'm sure we will also have our moments in the game. And I believe if we can take our chances, our moments in the game, it's gonna be it's gonna be a good day for us in the office.
Yeah, that's very true. To be honest, they've got some tricky wingers, and looking at Haidara and Bisuma, you know, it'd be very hard work to keep them at bay. You know, they are very good passers of the ball. Yeah, Baba, how do we approach tomorrow's? Sunday's match against Mali.
But like Yafa was saying, like you were saying as well, Mali, they will go through the flanks, and we have this how to call it again, the guy that plays the right back, what's the name again, Ibu Ture. He's a left footer. We can't bring him on the right that day. He did well that day, you know what I mean? But the thing is, this is a different game, and these people, they attack through the wings. And if we have to concentrate as well, like concentrate on them, how to defend those wingers, we wouldn't play anything, we wouldn't attack. So the only thing that we need to do is we need to do some counter-attack football. How are you gonna do that? Last time I was saying it, Yafa said it here. If we have the ball and we play as another up front, or any winger player up front, they don't keep the ball to give time the defense line to push up. That's another problem. Because if there is a big gap here, it's going to be a problem. Because the thing is, if there is a gap, it's always running and coming back. It's going to weak players. But if the defense move forward, if move to Seleta and Santo, it's going to help. The running space is not going to be too much. So the players, they will have more endurance. They will have energy again to attack or defend whatsoever it is. Yeah. But the thing is, the thing is, we don't have that kind of players that always keep the ball. We lose the ball easily. Then defense direct, I can't lose the ball. So we should play. If we are gonna defend these two, the two halfback, the two wingers, because they're gonna play with those two wingers because they're the best players. So if they're in jail, but jail use that. Okay, so if we are defending those two wingers, now we need to attack when we have the ball. So we should play players that can keep the ball or that can run a speed sort of, like Modu Baru. Modiboro got speed. If never play the counter, you play such players that have speed and they can run. Your ball of 5. If you keep the ball, just throw them the ball and then they do the running. So, but until we are here just to talk, and then the coach have to decide which player to bring in or which player to start or whatsoever. But against Mali, we can't only rely on defending these two wingers or we are scared of them defending. We also have to play our game. So the way we're going to play our game is we need to attack as well. We have to attack. We have to use our wingers or we have to use players that can keep the ball or players that are fast. That's all we can do. And then we defend as well. I think that's the best approach for this game. You know what I mean? If not, it's that's it. It's a game over for us. You know, Mali is a big club and they have big players. They have mature players. So we have to be so sharp. And then the coach, I don't think he's gonna use. He did well, you know. He did well on the right back, but he's not a natural right footer. But still, he did well. But if you're playing against this team, I think you need a proper right back that will stop those winger players. You know what I mean? Because you know, last minute it was okay, and then when this guy Timber came, and then you know, James went to play halfback right. It was all right. It was okay. But I believe we need a right back there to play a proper right back. And I'm not even sure whether this lad is fit again or, you know, like injury mangra or injury update. I don't even know what was wrong with him.
I think everyone is back fit now. They were.
He's okay.
Yeah, they said.
Yeah, then if he's fine, Tom is gonna use him. Trust me, he's gonna put him there again. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see because so I expect these people they're gonna attack with the flanks and then they will change and then start using different tactics and you know game plans and stuff because this coach now believe control we are his problem. He always talk about us, so let's prove him wrong. Let's tell the lads go and then do what they have to do, man. We're gonna play a new lad boy, a Deo boy. That's it. I believe we will have something. You know what I mean? You know, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, coach. Listen, we should not forget. I know we are still the underdogs in this game, but it's still a West African derby, and with what the coach had just said, the Malian coach about the Gambia being tactically ineptitude, like actually he acknowledged that we've got some individual players who are very good, and you know everyone would say that, but he said tactically we probably are naive, we are not up there, and he is expecting the 3 points. I think that's quite bullish coming into a tournament where there are, at the moment, I can't clearly say who the favorites are, to be honest. You know, do you think that should actually serve as a motivation for the Gambian team?
It's not basically do you think that should only serve as a motivation to the players. I'm just seeing the coach have playing some minds game regarding some of his remarks, and I don't want to take it a big deal because to me, it's the list of the worries that I had. At the end of the day, they will have 11 players on the pitch, and they have their tactical approach of the game. We will have 11 players on the pitch, and we will have our tactical approach of the game. So it is up to the players. It's good that he acknowledged that we have some very good individual players, and probably that individual players could go on and hunt him down. You know, so the players should take this as something very, very positive. Be motivated. Let them use it to boost their morals and try to make a point. They don't just have to play to prove the coach wrong. They have to play to play against Mali and win. That's all. Nothing less than that. Let them treat Mali with utmost respect, as the way they treated every other game, every other team, you know, and go on and play their own game. They've been waiting so long for these moments, and now they are right there. Let them enjoy every bit of it. You know, it's like I always say this: Gambia, it's the only team probably in this AFCON that has nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose in this AFCON. So let them go and enjoy every minute of every game. Let them do their utmost best. try to play to the best of their ability and win games. And I think that is what they have started doing. So I'm sure the Malians, would know that they are playing with a team that needs a lot of respect. I'm sure the players would also treat the game with a lot of respect. And I'm sure the coach would not even go and stand in front of these players and in his pre-match team talk, to tell them that, hey, you know what, this is a small team that we're just going to trash. He's not going to say that. Trust me. That was just a mind's game that he was trying to bring into the fray so that, you can distract some people. But this is basically something that the players are focused, are resolute to make sure that they go into the Mali game with a lot of confidence.
Yeah. So, there are no, Baba. So I was just asking coach about the statement that the Malian coach said about the Gambia, that we've got some good players, good young players, but then he think tactically we are not right up there, so he is expecting 3 points. So would you use that? Would the manager, the coach, use that as a motivation for the boys?
Yeah, if the boys are ready, they can prove him wrong. And but sometimes he's right in another way, because the thing is, we like Yafa was saying, I know it's gonna be hard for us to be having percentage of ball possession in this tournament, to be honest. But at least we can keep the ball a little bit longer, because we can lose Juna. We lose the ball so easily. And this coach, I think he's right about individually we got good players, but collectively that's the problem, because we can't keep the ball for so long. You understand? And that makes him to say that. But it doesn't mean we're a bad team or we can't do it. We can do it, to prove him wrong. Because, Muka Bolo Mutabaka, to be honest with you. And like Yafa was saying, we're not that team, me and Alonko. We're going to dominate games, or we're going to keep the ball position for so long, or win ball position, or to possess it for so long. It's not going to happen, in any game. It's not going to happen, because, the way we play, sometimes we play with too many defensive midfield players. And Italian and Yadidon, when it comes to defensive midfielder, they don't hold the ball that much. So he played a lot of defensive midfielders. So to keep the ball to be rolling for so many times, if we have kids like Jamano, Steve, or Hamza Bari and Yusuf and Dokero, yeah, all those kids, they're ballers. They keep the ball. They want the ball to roll. They want to play footy. They want to kick about. But if we have like Abu Adams, Solmar, and that Roma lad, Dembo Dabo, no, I don't know, Malanyadi Dabo boy. I forgot the name. Yeah, if we got all those lads, it's like we're not gonna keep the ball for so long. So I guess the coach knows what he's saying. Like individually, it's true, we got good players, but collectively, like as a team, it's hard. And that's true. I told you for, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean we're a bad team or we can't do anything. We can't win even. We can do it. Mali is a big team, yes, but let's do what we can do. Let's just play footy and then see what happens. The last they can do it. They can change around. But the thing is, for the ball, we have to keep the ball and then have a game plan. We know what we're gonna do, because Mali, you can't. Like I was saying, you can't lose chances like you did with Mauritania. You can't miss chances. You can't miss the balls. You can't. Boy, it's a mal passes so no. It be a punish level. They punish you straight. So all those things, they're important. I know we are not a big team or big country. Me alone, we're gonna come now from Ghana, Mali over Booty boy. But and we have to respect our game plan and then stick to that. And then make sure we do it right. Because anything we're doing and it's wrong, trust me, Mali will punish the name. Mali, they will punish me. They will punish us. So we have no chance of losing or mal passes or fail counters and everything. No, man. We need to keep the ball. We need to play. Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, on a final note, I just coach. We've had Well, obviously Steve Tarawale wasn't fit. I don't know whether he was, but he was actually on the bench during the last game. And as you know, he's the fan favorite, and he's one of our more tricky wingers. Were you surprised that he did not come on? I know Ibrahim Akoli did well, and Musa Barrow, obviously, he's the star man in the team, and you expect him to play a whole game. But were you surprised that Steve Tarawale did not come in? You're muted.
And Ibrahim Koli was substituted. It was very obvious that we needed a player that's going to hold that position on the ball, hold that ball, try to delay a little bit. And there is no better player on that team that can do that for us more than Steve. He is one of those few players that has the ability to hold the ball and take on the defender 1v1, and even can take out 2-3 players. So at that point, it would have been wise to bring in Steve, and I was a bit surprised. And one thing I'm also surprised is Timber coming right into the defense. That was a huge risk that was taken by the team, the coach, and then I think the way James played, the understanding and the discipline he has during the course of that game, you wouldn't have substituted somebody, put that defender who is building a good sense of understanding between the goalkeeper and his defensive partner, put him out and bringing in a player who hasn't played football for close to an year. He doesn't have a club. He doesn't play a competitive game for close to an year, playing right in the middle, in the center of the defense. That was risky, and you can see he nearly lost it because there was a foul created.
He nearly scored an own goal, actually.
That's what I'm saying. So, and then he was also giving away cheap fouls. And look at how he's built up now. He's kind of developed a lot of weight, and which needs to be looked into. I think the coach has to be very, very careful in who he's going to play in the different. You have basically Mohamed Mbai. He's an all-rounder as well. So you could have simply playing players that are playing week in, week out. They will do a better job than Timber at that. I mean, with due respect to him, I can understand why he's built weight, because he haven't have a competitive game, he haven't have a club and stuff. So basically, the football, the Nako wasi all of amut colore. It is not about colore or whatsoever. There are times, we advocated for these senior players to be in the team because of what happened. But that doesn't mean that you are indebted to them to play or whatsoever. No, you don't want to do that. You want to at that point in time, that was risky, and that's a coach. That's a coaching blunder. I don't know whether the assistants or whoever was sitting next to him should have tried to speak with the coach and tell him, you know what, that's not a good idea. At that time of the game, if you had to make a mistake, I would rather made it out, but I cannot make it in the middle of the defense, and which is too risky. And those are things that we have to avoid playing against Mali, because we need to get everything right. And there are moments in the game that we will need players that are going to hold that ball and delay so that the team can shift from defense to the midfield into the attacking tank. And I think it is really important for us to have those kind of players, and also try to play Germano. Germano, right now, I am seeing him as the only player that can link the midfield and the attack. But are we using him the way we should use him? I think no. We are not giving him the ball for him to have those decisive moments in the game. And I think those needs a lot of attention. But overall, I think there is room for improvement. And I believe the coach and his technical team would look at the deficiencies we have during the course of the first game and try to work on it and build on our strengths.
Yeah, Jamanu for the viewers is Ablai Jallo, the goal scorer. Yeah, so on a final note, I would want to know what your predictions are for the game, and then and overall, do you think Gambia would get to the second round?
Yeah,
Or
with
yeah,
all honesty, I think we still can have a point against Mali. From a coaching point of view, that is where I will set my team on. I will set them to go for a draw. But you wouldn't want to do that just to say then you're them the draw. There are protocols that has to be observed in achieving that draw. You know, that will come with a lot of cautions. You know, that wouldn't mean the team wouldn't go out there and look for chances, create some chances to score. And I'm sure the objective of the team would be to go and have the first goal. Once we have the first goal, that could dictate the dynamics of the whole game. And if we can score first, believe me, I think we can walk the Malians out. You know, we can make them the game more difficult for them. You know, and you know, goals can definitely change games. It can change games. It can change the dynamics, the mindset of players playing on the pitch. It can change everything. And I think that's one thing that we have to go for. We have to go in and try to have the first goal and see what the Malians bring. And I'm sure they would not just want to force their way to us. If they do that, if we can have the likes of Modou Baro and Musa Baro, we can also exploit the space. We need to exploit the space and the opportunities we have. If we can do that, we will have a good day in the office.
prediction, scoreline.
I am going for 0-0 draw.
Okay. Yes, Baba. So finally, what's your prediction, and what do you actually think we can make it to the second round? Because this game is very important for us moving forward.
Sorry. I mean, for now, I don't know. Probably it's gonna be like 1-1, something like that. Because I know for us scoring goals is a difficult thing. To score goals, like goals, we only score 1 or 2, 1 or 1 even. You know what I mean? So probably we're gonna be 1-1 draw. It depends. If we score first and sit back, it's gonna be hard for us. So, and then if Mali scored, it's difficult. It's gonna be difficult for us to come and then equalize and then put another goal on top of it. So we should defend well. And then Yafa was saying one important thing is like it depends on the coach what kind of play he's gonna bring in. Like he was saying, Steve, Musa Baro, Modou Baro, those are players that got speed. You know, if you're playing defensive and then you want to go and play counter-attack football, you put counter-attack football players that are fast, that are good with the ball. And we try and use Jamanu as much as possible because he can keep the ball. He's good with the ball. And he can do passes from the midfield to the striking force. So I be dependent on the fixture the coach is gonna bring, I guess, because that will tell what the game is gonna look like if we're gonna draw or if we're gonna score. Because now make a midfielder or I pay falling, change everything, and then we can't score goal because we have only Hassan at the front, and then it's hard because whenever Hassan hold the ball, it's hard for them to get closer to him to play the second passes and then run again, and then they lay him another pass. Akakoleala boy, it takes time for the defense to move or all the players to come out and join him. So, again, it depends on the fixture he's gonna bring because you never know. If he brings Steve and Jamano and Modou Baro, we can do it. We defend their wing backs. We will totally sit. Now wing backs so they cannot have blood you see and let them wait. You know what I mean? And when you have the ball, we play collectively and then go on with the counter attacks and then we see what's gonna happen. But yeah, 1-1 is my prediction. 1-1, I guess. 1-1. Because Muga goal jama score that. Until goal score no problem with. But let's see what's gonna happen. You know, but like I said earlier on, we can't lose chances like we did against Mauritania. We can't afford to be doing malpasses. We can't afford to do mistakes. Boy, you know, I know football, fair mistake, okay, the water boiler, but mistakes, you can't put a lot of them. If you can't just keep the ball, giving it to the opponent, or just take the ball from the defense line. If you got some pass, even more pass, you just can't fire the opponent have. You can't do that as well, you know. So we need to, there is a lot that we need to do in this game. Mali is a big country, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Coach Baba, thank you very, very much for making time again. I know we would meet up again maybe after the Mali game and see how that goes. I'm also expecting at least, I have to be positive. I think we might win 2-1, you know. Yeah. So let's see how it goes. But yeah, I hope we just get the points and then we can get to the next round and see where we go from there. But thank you very much for coming. And we do appreciate your time. And thank you for everyone who's watching as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks.